Hi there, so we wanted to do a video for you because we've spent the last few days assessing all the applications, which we've really enjoyed doing, and we feel like we've actually learned a huge amount about who you are and kind of what you need. So we were talking about it last night and we thought, well, is there something we can do to just address some of those questions, because we can't talk to all of you, but we'd really like to just cover some of those things. So
there were some real common themes really, which lots of people out there are going to kind of relate to, so I think if we can add our penny's worth.
Absolutely. So first of all, a really big thing that was coming up again and again was, is my idea any good? And
that's probably the most common question and the hardest one. How do you actually know if your idea is any good?
Yeah, and we've had that as well, the situations where we're not sure, and we're lucky because we can kind of bounce off each other. But I think the first way of assessing whether your idea is any good or not is to really think about, would someone pay for it? And if people would pay for it, who exactly is going to pay for it? Because it's actually really hard to get people to part with money. You might get people, friends, or even people that you've worked with before saying to you, yeah, that's a great idea, yeah, I really like that idea. But when it comes down to it, whether they'd actually put their hand in their pocket and pay money for that idea,
it's a completely different question really, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a lot of things that'd be, oh yeah, that'd be nice if it, it landed on my doorstep.
Well, there's lots of things that everybody would like to have, but whether they'd actually put down, I think travel's a similar thing really. Lots of people say, oh yeah, I'd love to travel, I'd love to do what you're doing, to go away for a few weeks and halfway across the world, but when it comes down to the financial implications of paying for that flight, people don't choose to do it.
No, they put a new bathroom in instead.
Yeah, exactly, or a new car.
Okay, so now I think what we want to talk about is some of the tricks, because it's all very well us saying, well, will people buy it, but how can you figure that out? That's really hard.
I guess that kind of building on what Hannah said of kind of asking your audience. So if you're lucky enough to have people on your list, then obviously you can use great tools like SurveyMonkey to find out exactly what it is. Ask those questions to them. Those are the best people really to tell you what they need and what they want. And obviously we covered before talking with friends, but sometimes that can be a bit iffy because your friends are always going to tell you what you want to hear.
Yeah.
And I think another great way is to look at the competition. Look out, search on Google, see how many other people are doing it. And if there's other people making good money from it, then you kind of know that there might be room for you out there.
Yeah.
Obviously there's going to be some ones that are a crowded market, but other ones, if there's a few out there and they seem to be doing well, they've got a nice website, then that kind of says a lot of it as well. I think there's a few different other things, keywords and stuff like that you can start to play around with using kind of Google Analytics and Google keyword search tool as well. Which doesn't take too long to do, you just got to play around with it, but that can also tell you a lot as well about what the demand is out there, what people are actually searching on the internet.
Yeah, what are people typing in when they're looking for different things, and if the words come up, my understanding is a bit limited, I must admit, but
Mine too.
Great. If the words are coming up, then it seems that people are searching for what the thing is that you're offering, so
I think it's trying being specific as well, really trying to niche it down, make it into something not very general. And so if you've got a broad term of a coach or something like that, you want to narrow it down to specific people so you know exactly who to focus on.
Yeah, I mean, if you look just quickly at our example, with the skills that we've got, we could, or particularly the skills I've got, we could be helping people get jobs in lots of different ways, but one of the areas we work in is helping firefighters get jobs. Really specific. And, we dominate that market because it's so specific, and firefighters, or people who want to be firefighters, they know where to come. So, there are people who, we weren't sure when we started off, is that a good idea? But we went out there, we asked lots of people, and then we realised people are searching for this. And, there's nothing being offered, so. Okay, so,
what's the next one?
What to avoid when you're trying to come up with an idea. So one of the things we see quite a lot is that people kind of put themselves right in the middle of the business idea. So they're thinking about, what's my passion? What do I want to offer? What do I need to share with the world? And sometimes, I know there's a lot of advice out there about follow your passion, but you've got to be practical as well. And sometimes putting yourself in the middle and not your potential market in the middle, that's a really big mistake, because just because you want to share it, and we've done this, we've come up with ideas, oh, that's fantastic, we love it, we're going to put this out there. It doesn't mean that anyone out there is actually going to share your passion and want to hear or pay for what it is that you're suggesting. So just
Your passion isn't always going to be the best way to pay your bills. It might well be, and that's great if you can combine that, but often, like I say, 9 times out of 10 the case is you need to tweak your passion or tweak what you know to make it in a way that people will buy it, or go right off there and kind of concentrate on your skill set, which may be from the job that you actually do at the moment or have done, and focus on those first before you go down the passion route. And then once you've got that time to pay for your bills and the other things, then you can focus on the passion. But the money to keep things going and moving forward, unfortunately, the way it is, you need to be able to pay those bills.
Yeah. So just take yourself out of the middle of the equation and put a potential audience back into the middle and see what it is that they want. Okay, so what else? I think, oh, and the final one, this is an important one. What happens when the idea just isn't coming together? We've all been in that situation where you just think, oh, I can do this.
Too many ideas.
I've got this, and I just can't see how it all fits together. So what do you do in that situation? And I think when we've been in that situation, we have very much relied on speaking to other people, getting an outside perspective. We've had mentors before who have just worked with us, and that's proved really invaluable. So that would be my main advice if you're really struggling. I mean, if you haven't been struggling for that long for the idea to come together, it
will come. It will come eventually.
It will come.
But
you need
a different perspective. You need people who are outside of it, outside of your niche, to be able to say, well, what about this? What about that slant? What about that angle? And I think that's something that when you're in the thick of it, you can't look beyond those kind of walls that are around you, and you can just get bogged down by that to the point where you don't take any action at all because you don't know where to go.
That's just what we've benefited from anyway. Okay, so we're going to wrap it up there. In our next video, we're going to talk about, will my idea make money? So that should be a bit of a key topic as well.
I'm sure, yeah. That's probably the biggest one, really, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So thanks for watching, and we'll be back with another video tomorrow.
Cheers.